First of all, I just want to welcome everyone to Until the Next Tee. This is my informal podcast called TeeBox Chatter. And with me today for my very first ever episode is Vanessa from Read the Greens Media and Agustin Piza from Piza Golf. So I want to thank you both for joining me today for this beta test, and thank you for being my guinea pigs.
Alex, I love it. I love it, especially because I don't know how to say guinea pig in Spanish. So I really appreciate it.
This is great.
So again, thank you so much for being here. So Piza Golf. Let's see here. You're known for your stunning designs. So let's talk a little bit about Piza Golf first of all. What would you want the average golfer that hasn't played any of your setups or designs? What would you want them to know first and foremost?
I would like them to think. I would like them to enjoy nature. I would like them to come out of there every time they play discovering something new, like a good work of art, a good painting, a good sculpture. That is my ultimate goal when I design and when we design as a team our golf courses, is every single time you go there, you discover something new.
Excellent. And speaking of painting and sculptures, what a segue. I'm looking at a picture right behind you. Our viewers can look at that as well. So what are we looking at, that picture behind you?
We're looking at Las Parotas. This is a golf course that we designed in 2012, finished 2014. It won 3 awards, luckily. So we had sustainability awards. We had and a second prize award for the remodel of the year worldwide. So we're very happy about that. That was in 2014. And it's a beautiful track in Huatulco, Oaxaca. If you like movies, if somebody here likes art movies and has seen Y Tu Mamá También, that is where it's filmed, actually.
Oh, very nice. So now let's talk about Agustin Piza as a I don't know, say a youngster. When did you first become involved in golf?
I got involved. I played when I was little. I just didn't pay any attention to it. And I played basketball, football, swam, tennis, anything that you can think of competitively in competitive sports. And I played all the way up to university. I played football, or American football, as we call it in Mexico. And I started to actually pay attention to golf after I graduated as an architect. I'm an architect by trade, a vertical licensed architect. And I have such a passion for sports that I wanted to look for something that I can complement my architecture. So I thought maybe design stadiums or country clubs, or I didn't have any idea when I was 24, how could I mix architecture with sports? And it wasn't until I discovered, or it discovered me, golf architecture, because I came back, I grabbed an old set of clubs from the garage and just started whacking and said, you know what, I'm good. Now it's time to become a golfer. And that, when I was 25, that was what actually, it really changed my life, my career, everything, because like I said, I discovered it, or it discovered me. And since then, golf, I had the chance to join my 2 passions, sports and architecture, via golf design.
Oh, very nice. And actually, I'm going to just jump over to Vanessa for a second here, so she's not the, just tagging along here as a passenger. So Read the Greens Media, when did you get started with that, Vanessa?
Oh, I've been doing this for longer than I want to admit, over 20-something years.
My goodness. So what made you get involved in the golf industry then, or PR?
You know, it kind of came to me organically. My background actually is in design, and I built out the first graphite shaft company, Aldala, back in the day. And the powers that be, they saw some talent in me. And so I started helping with their marketing and some of their advertising. And it kind of grew organically. My mom's family's from Scotland, so I was surrounded by Scottish men who taught me to have fun on the golf course, and my aunties too.
Oh, very nice. So then, now getting back to Augie. Now, what made you go with someone like Vanessa to be your PR person?
Well, first of all, that she has ties to Scotland. That was one of my first things. And when we spoke, I mean, I saw her passion. It was actually via LinkedIn, and we had a few things in common. Starting with passion for golf, starting with a passion for what we like. You know, she was writing. I saw some of her posts, and we just started, to connect from there. That was early last year, and just anything. I mean, anything that has to do with Scotland touches buttons. I spent a couple of years over there studying my master's degree. I am a proud earner. I've earned a couple of tartans in my lifetime, and I don't know if you know the history, but the proper way of putting on a tartan in Scotland is by earning it or by a family lending it to you. Get permission from the family. So I have my tartan from my university, Edinburgh University, and when I graduated from my master's degree in golf course architecture, and then recently, I mean 2019, I became a proud member of the American Society of Golf Course Architects, where I earned my tartan, my Ross tartan. So that always has ties, that always touches buttons, and on top of all the personality that Vanessa and experience that Vanessa brings to the table, she had ties to Scotland, and it was just a passion that unites us. And we thought we could do some special things together, and that's what we've been doing for the past 6 or 7 months.
Very nice. Now, I had the absolute pleasure of talking to you. I think it was last week when we first talked over a similar avenue as this, over Zoom. And you ran me through a presentation of some of your design and some of your design philosophies. For example, in Mexico City, part of my enunciation, I know it's not quite the right way to say it, but the one thing that just blew my mind were the facilities known as the Pit. So let's talk about the Pit for a little bit.
The Pit is some of our, I don't know, I think it's a special design. Actually, my Yeti has it's a special the Pit edition, and yes, it's something that we have been experimenting. I think the best part of any artist, of any creator, is the experimental phase, and that only comes with time and hours. That only comes, I've said it before, it's very easy, well, with all due respect, it's easy to just learn the rule book and the guidelines and design with them, which is perfect. If you follow the rules, you follow the guidelines, you'll do a good whatever you're designing. The magic, the experimental phase is when you start designing with the exception. But that only comes after the famous 10,000 hours, or being there being there in the mud with the pick and shovel and everything, and then you start creating. That's when the magic begins. And the predecessor of the Pit was a project called Wellness Golf, where we designed the concept actually called Wellness Golf. And right now, if you hashtag wellness golf on any platform or any Google or whatever, you will find 90% of the work is our work. So that concept is relax, take your shoes off, connect with nature. It's about well-being. Wellness is about well-being. And if well-being for you is having a big fat cigar with a mimosa on the golf course, or meditating, or listening to the birds, or just, that's what you should do. We're constantly talking about our score and following our score, which is good. That's perfect. But every now and then, just give ourselves time to enjoy nature, enjoy what the 360 degrees of the site tells us. Enjoy the company. Enjoy your own company. That is what we are lacking in golf, in my way of thinking. So we're always thinking about the score, and We don't stop in the old cliche to stop and smell the coffee. So we created this concept on a smaller footprint, and you just drop the ball wherever. It has 4 greens in the middle, and then 5 stations out in the outskirts, and you just pick and choose whatever you want to play. So imagine that. What comes with that is you reinvent golf. I want you to unlearn and then start learning again. So that is
I love it.
Those experiments and everything like that. That's what we promote at Wellness Golf. That's in Chablé Resort in Mérida, Yucatan, Mexico. So from there, coming back to the pit, we grabbed. I knew that I wanted to do a grass sculpture, because that's my first thing. One of the things that our golf courses in that particular private golf collection needs to be multi-purpose use, needs to be a grass sculpture, and needs to have wellness golf in it. Why? Because we want to cater for the non-golfer. We have the golfer already there. Now, if your wife, if their significant other, if the grandfather can play with the granddaughter, if the mother can play with the son, 6-year-old son, that's where we're doing that's what we like to see. If you want to play with your dog, that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see on the golf course. So we created all of this, and the pit is a family-oriented golf complex that we created a big sandbox for the children, so they can roll with the grass and build sand castles. And that way the kids, the children will remember how much fun they had on a golf course, and that will mark them forever. I remember growing up at a country club in Tijuana, how at least 3 times they pulled me out of my ear for playing on a bunker, for playing on a bunker in the golf course.
That's a great story. That is great.
I'm connecting all these dots and saying, no more of that. And then we created this area, which, again, going back to the multi-purpose, it's a proper golf complex. Any shot you want to hit inside 80 yards, trickle down shots, bump and runs, pitches, lat putts, short putts, feet over, feet under the ball, etc. Whatever you want to practice, it's there. But on top of that, we created a fire pit that goes inside a revetted bunker. So now it becomes a golf lounge. So now you're burning marshmallows with the kids at night in the golf atmosphere, or you put the kids to bed, you bring out the drinks, turn on the music, and have some drinks and cocktails with your friends at your golf lounge. So we created all of that, and we like to create experiences, Alex. We're designing experiences, and not the old cliche, we're designing experience. No, we are designing experiences. But in order to do that, we have to do outside the box. Thinking outside the box is not, it's not enough anymore. Thinking outside, everybody thinks outside. And the worst thing, everybody thinks that they think outside the box. That's even worse. So you have
That's
to
so
do
true.
outside the box. Oh, I'm a very out of the box thinker. No, yeah. Okay, you have to do outside the box. So in order to do outside the box, just to finish up, in order to do outside the box, you have to take risks.
Yeah.
You have to be out there. You have to be on a limb. You have to start creating wellness golf. You have to start creating all these crazy grass sculptures that are multi-purpose, that convert themselves, that turn into this, that turn into that, that have. When does that happen? When you have a crazy enough client that believes in your work. So that's when you have all of that come together.
Very nice. And to that end, regarding the pit and turning it into a fire pit, putting the kids in bed, you know what? I'd be here for the beer. I would be out there with my Presidente or what have you, and it's only a couple cold ones out there. And you really touched on a really important part of the golf for me, with the whole score versus enjoying the experience. I mean, Sure. The only reason why I'm playing golf really is because I had the pleasure of meeting Arnold Palmer back in 95, 96. It was just a fluky thing that happened in Hamilton, just 45 minutes from here. And the real reason why I love the game so much, it's that smell of the grass. You know, it's using the senses. It's that smell. It's hearing the birds chirp. It's seeing that potential wildlife out there. You know, like I think about around I played at Harbor Town, you know, going back, oh God, that's probably 10 years now. And you know what? The one image that I have from that round is turning from 17 green to 18 tee, and the Dolphins were frolicking out in Calaboogie Sound. Beautiful. And it was just, you know what? The golf was fine. The score was pretty darn good too. But seeing that just was the icing on the cake. You know, and that's why I think people have to enjoy more if they don't is that time outdoors, especially amidst something like we're going through, you know, out for about a year now, you know, this whole COVID-19 pandemic thing. You know what? We got to take time to stop and smell the roses every now and then, enjoy what we have instead of just focusing on the game itself, you know. Now, one other thing that I want to just touch on too, getting to the wellness golf, or actually, I don't think it was wellness golf that was in that part of the conversation on the phone the last time or over Zoom. But one of your designs really impressed me, and that was a facility that you had placed inside of 25 acres, where you could make, and it was how many combinations of holes that you can make with that?
Well, all the combinations you want, and it's designed for, it has, now this is the inversa of the wellness golf. Wellness golf is, you would have to imagine 4 greens to the center, so surrounding a lake, and then it has the 5 stars, kind of like a 5-star, no pointers. Okay, so that's how you can envision it. Now the RLL project is the opposite. We took those 4 greens, put them on the corners. So imagine a big X, and then that X, the form of an X, put fairways on it. So that means that the top of the X can play a par 3, the bottom of the X can play a par 3, crossing from one point of the X to the other point of the X. And if you crisscross from one extreme of the X to the other extreme of the X, you have a par 5. And if you play, so the point is that you have 18 combinations. And if you follow those 18 combinations, you play a par 72 over 7,000 yards golf course inside, designed within 25 acres.
Which is absolutely crazy to even think about, that you can get that kind of a golf course, over 7,000 yards of play inside of 25 acres. You know, when you have so many different facilities that are just using up just a massive expanse of land and property, you know, and at the same time, you know, they're encroaching on habitat as well, you know, where something like this, where it's only 25 acres. I mean, that's a big outside of the box type of thinking and design that's actually put inside of a box, so to speak, if you don't mind me saying that. So, you know, it was mind blowing when you explained that to me the last time. I was just blown away, and I haven't stopped thinking about it, to be totally honest.
Well, I really appreciate it, Alex, and because it is something special for us when we start justifying our projects. You know, that has to do with our architecture upbringing. When you're an architect, you cannot just pull projects out of a hat. You have to justify them. You have to think about them. You have to critique them. You have to do some you know, all these presentations or internal presentations, and pick your project apart and think them and rethink them. And so that is part of our process in golf architecture. That is, I believe, one of some of the advantages, of competitive advantages that we think as architects. And that every project that we bring to the table to our client is completely justified with a content, with a structure, with the whys. If you do not design with a why, then what's the point? What is the point?
Exactly.
So here in this project in particular, we were thinking, okay, you know, we love designing our championship golf courses. We do some master plan communities. We love also doing that. But let's think for the developer that doesn't have all this type of land. Let's think about the resources.
Right.
Let's think. So it depends on where you're at. And geographically speaking, it's how you have to adapt the golf course. One of the big mistakes that we have been doing in all of our lives is we want to mimic the golf course from Scotland and bring it everywhere in the world. And in Scotland, you have some great links course, all sandy soil. It rains 300 days
every day.
And of course, after the Industrial Revolution, then the human ego could just take it anywhere and build it anywhere, and that's fantastic. That was a great thing to do, and everybody got the opportunity to play golf and to know a fantastic sport like this. But now, at least I feel the responsibility to think another way. How can we still have that same fun, but with less resources, less land, less water, et cetera, and for the perfect project. In this case, you have, 40 villas. Let's create this combination where you also have a sense of ownership. It feels like you're in your backyard because it's such an area that you could you want to play 6 holes today? You want to play 3? You just want to go back and forth and just practice a little shot that you have? Go ahead, do it. And that's something that we're also catering for is the time. Our most valued asset is time. So if you want to play 3 holes, 6 holes, 7 holes, 8, 9, 12, come back, that is perfect. And just drop the ball from outside of your house and hit it. So we're thinking even in operations of how inside, obviously, a safety margin, because these combinations are designed for 2 groups to play one behind each other. So if those groups are 5, 6 sums, they play right behind each other, and you're safe to go in all of the 18 combinations.
That is absolutely amazing. So, Vanessa, not to put you on the spot here, have you been down to visit these facilities yet?
Pardon me?
Oh, I was just not to put you on the spot or anything, but have you been down to experience one of these facilities?
I have not. I would love to. As soon as we can travel again, I'll be there. You don't have to push me. I'm all over it. The wellness one is at a 5-star resort. It's outrageous. I'll be there, and you'll know about it.
Yeah,
that's excellent. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it wouldn't take much of an arm twist to get me to go over there. I think my arm is already twisted as it stands right now. I mean, I could just picture myself spending day and night out there. And my wife, I mean, she wouldn't be exactly neglected out there. It's the perfect situation that I can go and golf my little brains out, and she can go and be well.
You're more than invited. Let's see what comes first. Either you come and visit over here in Mexico, or we start building one in the States. We'll see what comes first.
Yes.
Oh, very nice. Okay, well, I think we're going to wrap this up. I just want to thank you both again for joining me here on this beta test of TeeBox Chatter. Avi, do you have any websites or any social media channels that you want people to know about?
Thank you for asking. At Piza Golf, Piza Golf, social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So we would love to see you there. It's if you like golf architecture, I think you're going to have some fun.
Oh, I love it. And that is actually one of the things that I that I enjoy. I can't draw for the life of me. I can barely draw a stick person, but I have looked at empty properties, empty lots, and tried to picture in my head, well, what can I put there in that field? And so I would just draw a really mundane, rough sketch. And architecture is something that I'm very interested in. And again, I just enjoy your work so much, and I'm just looking forward to learning more and more about it. And Vanessa.
Yes.
For anyone that wants to find out about yourself or read the Greens media, do you have any channels that you'd like to share?
Yes, definitely. You can find us at our website, which is readthegreensgolfmedia.net. And on social, it's Read the Greens Golf Media.
Very nice. Thank you so much. So from me to you and your families, thank you so much. And thank you for joining me at TeeBox Chatter, and we'll see you on the next tee.
Thank you, Alex. Bye-bye.